We getting rid of the stock bumper and using the Outback bumper. For those of you who don't know, the Outback bumper actually fits on the Foresters if you trim it a bit, and this one's already trimmed, and they just go on and they sit super low. So instead of having this super high sitting bumper, it's gonna be like, I don't know, lower. But you gotta take the headlights out and the grill out and stuff to get to all the bolts on the bumper to get the bumper off. So we're gonna test fit it today. Okay, let's get to it. Pretty much out, and then
I was gonna say that looks like
it's got a couple clips underneath here, underneath the lights. We're having an issue getting the bumper on now because the Forester fog lights are at a different position than the Outback fog lights. I was told that you could bend the brackets in a way to get them to fit. You know, we can get one side on, pretty much on, but the other side is like an inch off. So we're trying to figure out right now how to get them both to be able to slide on. So once we figure that out, we'll update it. So at the moment, we're having issues with this side, passenger side, lining up, because if you bring it up here and zip tie it up, it actually will sit in like that, which looks awful. Sorry for the scratches, that'll buff out. And I just noted, and if you zip tie it up like this, you've got horrible fitment. But I just found out, down in there, you can see that fog light bezel is hitting right there. And I'm noticing if I push on this right here, fixes all of the fitment, and then I could zip tie it up and it'll work. With two hands, I can make it work. So I'm gonna see how I can zip tie something down there, or maybe just cut that down in there so this can sit further back and then line up a little better. So we'll try that. And there you go. That pretty much fits up almost perfectly. It's barely off, which is way better than it was before. Now this is a little bit off because we actually trimmed some under this, which we honestly didn't need to do, but now you don't see any garbage here. We gotta still kind of mount the middle a little better. This side's good. That's gonna look so killer. I also figured out a way to mount the fog lights with we'll say a couple zip ties, but I've got a way to mount the fog lights. I mean, it's a little, it moves around a tad, but that's not coming out. And that looks so good with the fog lights in there. I mean, we're gonna have to pull it all off to paint it, but this is just a test fit for now. It's going well. Fits up just nice. So I've actually had this bumper on the car for quite a while now, but it's finally time to paint it to match all of the trim on the car, because it's like a gold, brown, you know. So we're gonna go to O'Reilly's and see if we can find, I've been told that the color of all the trim on the Forester is dark primer gray. So we're gonna go to O'Reilly's and see if we can find some sort of primer spray can that'll match the trim good enough. I think we found our winner. Looks like that's gonna match actually really well. So we got the paint. 2 cans I think should be enough just to do the bumper. So we're gonna pull the bumper off, clean it, Scotch-Brite it. This is just primer, so you don't need to do crazy prep work on it, and it should fill in any cracks or anything. You know, this bumper's got some clear peeling and stuff, so we're gonna do our best with the Scotch-Brite to smooth anything out that we can. And then obviously the bumper fitment still isn't perfect, so when we take the bumper off and paint it, when we're putting it back on, we're gonna make sure the fitment's good. But let's get to it. Start with a light dust, just to kind of see what the color is gonna do. Got some pretty good wind. First light coat done. It's definitely gray. I'm not sure if it's dark enough though. Might have got the wrong color. That does look pretty close. I wonder, maybe it just needs thicker coats on it. Maybe just some of the gold is still shining through and that's why it looks lighter. but it does look close. I just did a thicker coat, kind of just on the top area right here to make sure we had all coverage, and definitely too light. So, I mean, we have one can, and it really is only gonna take one can. I'm barely into that can and still got a lot left, so just need to go return that can and switch it out for a new one. So I went and just bought the next shade darker. On camera, it looks black, but like in the sun, it's actually like a gray. Even if it is a little bit darker than the plastics on the car, that's gonna look a lot better than like this total primer gray, which this was supposed to be darker than normal primer gray. But this is just the next shade darker, so that's gonna be better than anything. So we'll try it again. Our initial dust. Oh, definitely darker. So it sprays on like black, and then it actually dries lighter than black. So that's just a light dust on it. It's just like one shade darker. That's gonna look pretty much perfect. That's gonna be good. You see what I mean? Sprays on black and then dries lighter than the black. You can already see it drying right there. Crazy. Now that's the right color. That looks good. And it literally took exactly a full can. Let's throw this puppy on there and see how it looks on the car. So it's definitely darker, like one shade darker, but that's gonna be as good as we're gonna get it for now. I mean, it's better than the gold, but I'm gonna finish putting it all back together, fix the bumper fitment, and then I'll show you how it looks with everything done. And there you go. I got the fog lights mounted way better this time. However, I couldn't get the bumper mounted any better. The only way to get the bumper to mount better is if somehow we could prop the bottom up, but there's not a lot of play and there's not much I can do. But the bumper is mounted a tad better, like I said. It's a shade darker, sadly, but it's better than the gold. So that's what we're gonna run with right now. I think it looks pretty sweet. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And it hides all of the imperfections in the bumper way better with it all being one color. It's a little dirty from my hands, but it was all dry before I threw it on.